In the name of the one who saves us, redeems us, and has freed us. Come unto me, all ye that travail and are heavy laden, and I will refresh you. Come unto me, all ye that travail, and I will refresh you. Those of us who are of a certain age would like to remember those words from a celebration of Holy Communion in the 1928 prayer book. I see a couple of nodding heads. Yeah. The words of Jesus come from the Gospel of Matthew, the one we just heard, but the sentence just read is a bit more contemporary. Come to me, all you that are heavy and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Come to me, all you that are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. So a difference in language, more contemporaneous. Now, in reading through all of today's lessons from the Old and the New Testaments, including the Psalms, it was that sentence that really grabbed me. It took hold of me, and perhaps you too. So let me explain what struck me. These last several years, actually almost 3.5, have been something of a blur. So much has been turned upside down. Have you found yourself, as I have, asking about a certain date or an event? Now, was that before COVID, or was that during COVID, or was that since COVID? It feels as though we are constructing a new timeline, one that's based on a chronology dictated by the course of the disease. The introduction of the virus has seemingly disrupted where we are right now in time. The markers are pre, during, and post, although sadly the evidence has been clear that we're not out of the woods yet as far as COVID. In fact, it's possible we may never be quite finished with what was an epidemic. That baptism, that graduation, the passing of a loved one, was that pre, during, and post-COVID? For many of us, it's not the thought. And thinking about what I wanted to share with you today, my thoughts kept drifting back to that phrase from Matthew in the 1928 prayer. You see, the words travail, heavy laden, and refresh jump right out of me. Language, especially the English language, fascinates me. As a former journalist and a professor of journalism and an historian, I did a degree late in life. What we say and the words we use to express our thoughts carry great meaning. In the older expression of Matthew's Gospel, we hear Jesus talking about travail. Now, that's not a word we commonly use today, and it's understanding why the newer translations employ weary instead of travail. I mean, who today says, I travailed all day long, and boy, that was a heavy burden I had to bear. And yet I believe that travail gives a wider expression to the experiences that I and you have perhaps during these past 30 years. Travail, you see, is related to the word travel. Travel. The Oxford Dictionary says that travel, in fact, is a variant, a newer form of travail. Think about it for a minute. Maybe your journeys in that old 1962 Ford station wagon, or if you go back to the Middle Ages, for example, they were difficult and they were arduous journeys. The ones 1,000 years ago were often fraught with challenges, even danger, there was toil and torment to get from one place to another. Travail. The journey that we have been on the past 3.5 years has also been one of challenges and difficulties that were thrust upon us by COVID. We've dealt with limitations, masks, and uncertainties, and which vaccine to get, and when to get it, maybe the loss of employment, and perhaps even the death of a loved one. It has been an unbelievable journey, one we hope never to repeat. Our travels, that journey, has been full of travail. Are you weary? You bet I am. Have we become dispirited at times? Quite right. Do we pray that this journey, this travel, these travails will end? Absolutely. And maybe that's just why I was drawn to the very last sentence of today's lessons. Because Jesus knows, he fully grasps what we are experiencing. Interesting, he not only identifies the issue, we are weary from carrying the heavy burdens, and in our case, it's COVID, he offers a cure. He presents a balm for what we have endured, and honestly, what we're continuing to deal with. But he doesn't stop there. He's got the problem identified, you've got a burden that's heavy, then he says, I will give you rest. He adds, join me, follow me, it's not hard. If you do, you will find rest for your souls. Compared to the burdens we have all shouldered, together or separately, the burden that Jesus is proposing for us, often he's making, is pretty light. I'm not sure we even think of what he's presenting as a burden, but as someone who says, here, let me share your backpack. In fact, let me take the backpack off your shoulders, and I'll walk along with you. We have traveled so much since March of 2020. Our travels have been overridden by surveillance. Our journey may not be over. We have, though, been given a wonderful offer, one that will lighten our burden. Join Jesus, pick up the yoke, learn from him. There will be rest, and we will find a much needed rest.